welcome back to another episode of Touchline Banter. I'm one of your hosts, Cheyenne Karimi, alongside my friend and co-host, Ruben Chavez. We're coming live, well, not live and not from the physical studios, but from the virtual studios of Touchline Banter. Ruben, today it's September the 22nd. It's a gloomy Monday. It's raining. This is why I hate fall. I think we spoke about it before in the first couple episodes of the podcast. I hate fall, and I think we should just go to winter. It's been an eventful day. It was the Ballon d'Or ceremony. We talked about it a little bit off air. Ousmane Dembele won. I'm wearing the jersey just because I like it, not because I think he should have won. I mean, no, I think he should have won, definitely, but not because I'm a PSG fan.
Cheyenne's a big Dembele head.
Huge.
He's part of the Dembele hive.
Absolutely. Yeah, I will, if people watched it, let us know your thoughts. I watched the bootleg stream. If you're a Barcelona fan or a fan of Lamine Yamal and think you should have won, please don't talk to me. I don't want to hear any of your false opinions. The Blue Jays clinched the playoffs. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the Ballon d'Or? How do you feel about everything going on in the world of sports?
Yeah, the Blue Jays clinching the playoffs is pretty cool for the city. I'm a pretty avid Toronto sports hater. I get my joy from watching them fall.
100%.
But there's only good stakes if they make it to places where they're supposed to be good. So once it was clear that the Jays weren't going to have like a disastrously bad year, I was like, yeah, I want them to make the playoffs so they can get their hearts broken again. We'll see if they win the division. Currently, they're ahead of the Yankees, but they're playing the Red Sox. I think the series starts today. Mm-hmm. And their run-in is pretty tough. I think they play the Red Sox and the Rays, so it's all division games, and they do have a game in hand, having beaten the Yankees pretty soundly across the season. So they should win the division, but it'd be even funnier if they just collapsed and lost that too. No, but it is good. Good for them. The city's going to be exciting. As two people that work in the industry, I'm not sure how much Jays crowd you guys get up where you work. Maybe not, but
huge crowd.
But I do think just in general, whenever something in the city is good, people do just want to be out more, whether it is specifically for the game or anything. The city just comes more alive. There's more of a vibe. People want to be,
it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. Sports are like fun. An opiate for the masses, I guess, if you want to be an asshole about it. But if you want to be like nice about it, yeah, they're fun. It's a fun thing to do. I'm just coming at a lot of people all at once.
Oh boy.
But about the Ballon d'Or, I mean, we kind of talked off air. I'll try to give my thoughts pretty succinctly. Dembele did deserve to win, whether or not you agree with that. Like for me, I only had Dembele or Vitinha as worthy winners. Vitinha because, again, if we're going to give it to someone like Rodri, who was such a linchpin for his team, but in my opinion was not the best player in the Premier League. I don't think he won that award. I don't think he was the best player in the Champions League. I don't think he was the best player in any competitions that he won. Even when Spain won, he was important to that, but he wasn't the best player on that team. He wasn't the decisive player on that team. And then you compare it to the year that Vinicius had and Carvalho. We're not going to rehash all that. But this year, Vitinha kind of played a similar role. Like, if people want to sit here and say, well, he's not as talented as Rodri, is that the criteria for the award, just talent? Because if that's the case, then, like, Dembele shouldn't have won. It should be someone with more talent, like Mbappe or Holland, right? Like, yeah. So this is where I get frustrated, where the criteria gets all confused. You kind of alluded to it. Like, people are saying Yamal should have won because of how young and talented he is. And it's like, he is young and talented. That's not the criteria for the award. His stats were not as good. So if you're arguing just on a pure stat level, he was not at the level. If you want to say that's because he's young, okay, he doesn't get a boost just because he's young. In the decisive moments for his team, I argued on this podcast and in real life that he did not show up. In the game against Inter, in the second half of both games, 100%. He kind of got marked out. He didn't win the Nations League. He actually lost to Portugal, a team Vitinha was a part of, and he played really well for. So the more I said, whatever, it's fine. The Ballon d'Or is kind of a weird award. It's become weirder and weirder as the criteria seems to shift and change, and we don't know and what competitions are falling under, like the purview of whether or not they're considered. Like, how much did the Club World Cup play a factor? Like, Cole Palmer cracked the top 10. I don't think he had a good season. Is that just based off Chelsea winning the Club World Cup? Like, we don't really know. So all the factors of this are pretty opaque. Happy for Dembele. Extremely hilarious that Barcelona fans wanted him out, and now he's the best player in the world according to the French Federation. I think that's really funny. And if people obviously leave a comment if you think that Salah should have been the winner, as my friend Jake thinks. If you think Vitinha, I've had people saying that Rafinha deserved to be in the top 3 over Yamal. Those people are not Barcelona fans, obviously, because they see Barcelona through a different lens than Barcelona fans. But ultimately, an individual award in the team sport. What can we really do? Like these things happen. People are going to win that you don't agree with, and you just keep it pushing. Ultimately, for me, the award stopped really. Last year did really fracture my not just last year, but last year was the culmination of when they gave it to Messi over
Lewandowski
or Van Dijk or Robin, even that one year.
Robin.
Lewandowski probably should have won in 2020. Has another good year in 2021. Gets Pip. Haaland had a great year. He set records in the Prem, and they give it to Met. It's that thing where it's I've seen too much of this award is used to push a narrative for me to be living and dying by it. So, congrats to Dembele. He definitely deserved it. Best player on the best team. And if you think that PSG weren't the best team in the world last year, you're just wrong. They just were. They just were.
100%.
Besides that, the weather sucks. This is the part of fall that sucks. I think when people think about fall, they only think about the couple weeks of October and November, where the leaves start to change and the weather's real crisp. Because the beginning of fall and the end of fall are dog shit. They're the worst. It's just 4 weeks you get.
Yeah. I'm getting the most heated on this right now out of all the things we just mentioned. This whole, let's go to orchards and pink pumpkins and things. Listen, I like Halloween. I think it's a really fun holiday. I like scary movies. I like dressing up. I like cool costumes. That stuff, great. But all this, you go to orchard for one day. You're going to go pumpkin giving for one day. You're going to make an apple pie one day. And the rest of the time, the leaves look nice for 2 days. And then the branches look dead. It's rainy. It's gloomy. Exactly. Everything said there. I'm heated. Stop pissing me off about this pumpkin spice crap and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, anyway, sorry for the unnecessary violence.
No, it's good.
We'll get to the main topic.
Don't you if you drink pumpkin spice. And if you don't,
we're aggressive today, very heated.
And honestly, I feel more in a good mood about football than I have in most of these recent podcasts.
100%.
We've seen some good stuff, but continue, please.
But on the Ballon d'Or point, we mentioned it before. I mentioned it before. It's a popularity contest. There's a lot of politics behind it. I don't really care about it. As a Ronaldo fan, I can acknowledge that in 2013, Ribery should have won it. We mentioned how Messi won it in a few years that it didn't make sense. I think this was a year that they actually got it right because it's an individual award, and on statistics, he had the best season across Europe. He won the most trophies. And honestly, it was nice to see, I'm not trying to make this a race and politics thing, but a person of color since George Weah win it again.
Yep, 100%. No, I think that does matter.
Yeah. His dad was crying. Obviously, awards and merit shouldn't be off of race. It should be off of, you qualifying for it. But, it is good to see a person of color winning. His dad was crying. His mom was crying. It was just a nice scene overall. On the Blue Jays thing, I just want to add something quickly. I was talking about this with my friend. I was like, dude, if the Blue Jays clinch the playoffs and they lose to, let's say, the Yankees, for example, does it really make them better? Because you still just won, played one round of playoffs, just maybe 2 or 3 more games more, and you still lost. So anyway,
I think it really depends on, because they haven't won the division in a while. The last few times they've made the playoffs, they've had to play the wild card and lost there. So theoretically, the ALDS is a 5-game series as opposed to the wild card 3-game series.
Yeah.
So they'll have more of a chance to not get beaten by a bad team, I guess, if you want to put it that way. But I agree with you. I think if they lose,
it's still one round. Yeah,
they're not gaining playoff experience. I do wonder what it would mean for the front office and for Schneider as a coach, because there were talks of him kind of being on the hot seat earlier this year with how they began. So we've become a baseball podcast, people. Yeah. Welcome to Dugout Banter.
We're gonna branch out to every single sport there is, but yeah, we hope you enjoyed the first part. Let's get to the task at hand. We're going to do a double upload or double recording today. The first one's going to be the Champions League recap, basically, of the first round of games. The first half of this episode is going to be a little more Real Madrid focused on how they did and overall what's going on with them. And then we'll touch on the big results. And the second episode, we're going to recap the Premier League games over the past weekend and what's going on over there. I guess, we can just jump right into it. What did you think of the first game for Real Madrid against Marseille? I think it was an interesting result.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Because when in the lead up to to doing this episode, I like to peel the curtain back for the fans. Sometimes me and Cheyenne, we're talking about what we should talk about, and obviously, like, there's a lot to talk about with Real Madrid because honestly, this is the first time that I can remember in a long time, probably, like, I don't know, I guess since Mourinho or whatever, we've had a coach that has their tactics, that we know how, like, that is a very tactics driven manager. And even Mourinho, by the time we got him, was more cult of personality. But, like, we have a tactics guy who is brand new, and we're not going off vibes, and we're in this digital social media age. So there's a lot of, like, player FCs, a lot of camps online. And online isn't real, but even in personal conversation with other people, you see it. Everyone's got the guys that they're writing for, the people that they like. And now we're seeing something that we haven't had to deal with in a while, because Zidane and Ancelotti, while they are tactical managers, like every manager is tactical, they had an idea. Their ideas were very simple because it was kind of like, make a connection to my favorite basketball team, as evidenced by the Kobe Bryant jersey there, Phil Jackson. Look, I've learned how to play in the triangle because I went to a basketball camp that was run by Kobe Bryant where we got shown how to do the triangle. I probably don't know the triangle as good as Phil Jackson or Tex Winters or Kobe, obviously, but I was taught the framework of the triangle. And it's in essence, it's a very simple offensive system. You're just making a passing triangle, and you're trying to overload one side of the floor. Sound familiar to what we're trying to do in the field of soccer? You're trying to make passing triangles, trying to overload, trying to get a man advantage. It's very similar. The thing that makes a triangle special is there's a lot of action you can run off of everything. There's a lot of screening, a lot of cuts. Yeah, it's all very fluid. Movement.
Yeah.
And it does empower players to make decisions. There is no set outcome for the play. Once you get the ball into an action, you can have certain outcomes, but it's up to you to decide which one you're going to take. It's a very free-flowing interpretive system. That's what we used to have with Ancelotti and Zidane, a platform for superstars to express themselves on. Now we don't have that. We have a system that we're trying to break in. And it's a bit like, again, I've never done this, but based off what I've read and seen in movies and TV shows, it's like when you're breaking in a young horse. Horses are very tempestuous. You need to kind of break them in to make them workhorses. We have a very tempestuous lineup with a lot of young players. But
That's the word of the day.
Tempestuous. How do I feel about the Marseille game? Everyone lost their freaking minds. Even my friend Peter. I got so mad. Man, he's not going to watch this, I don't think. But, like, I got so mad because everyone was getting up in arms about the penalty, which, like, it feels like...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, exactly. Forgot. Right? I forgot about it until we mentioned it right now. So let's break down the game. Overall, like, yeah, it was good. We got a win. I will say, and this is a thread I'm going to build on to later when we get talking more about the Madrid stuff, we still don't have, like, a signature Xabi Alonso win. We don't have the thing that's like,
fair.
This is inspiring confidence. We just keep winning games. And don't get me wrong, that's fine. Hey, last year we weren't inspiring confidence and we were losing games. So it's a step up. It's a step up for sure. I thought the team played well, but there's not much tactical analysis you can really do when you go down to 10 men. I thought that, yeah, like, it sucked that Trent went out injured. That was annoying. He's going to be out for like a month. Seems like it's a hamstring thing. That sucks. Hopefully he's healthy. We'll talk about the ramifications of that a little bit more. Carvajal is too old to be making those kind of decisions. Like, just way too old. Obviously, the goalkeeper made a fucking meal out of it. It shouldn't have, he acted like he got shy. He barely got tapped. I understand all that. But, like, you shouldn't be doing that. And it's like, I see less anger for that than when Vinicius gets mad at the crowd for saying racist things. Like, you know what I mean? This is the thing that confuses me about Real Madrid.
Unfortunately.
Every Real Madrid fan is like, oh, Vinny needs to get his head on straight. Like, you got to stop arguing with the fans, arguing with the ref. I'm like, yeah, but what Vinicius is actually dealing with is being fouled at an alarming rate and racism. What Carvajal was dealing with was some bullshit. He was just getting mad. Like, that's completely within his fucking wheelhouse, like, to just not do that. But again, kudos to Xabi Alonso. I know that this game, it has something that we're going to touch on later. Like, Vinny got subbed out. There's a lot of quick subs. The shape had to change. we basically played Mourinho park the bus ball for me. We were 5 at the back at one point. But like that shows you what kind of manager Xavi is as opposed to Ancelotti. Ancelotti would have gone more defensive. I don't think Ancelotti would have made a wholesale change the way that Xavi did, and I definitely don't think he would have changed the shape quite as drastically as Xabi Alonso did, which leads me to believe that Xavi works on this kind of stuff in training so that he can be like, we're doing this, because no coach is going to do that without working on it, right? So he's like, I trust my guys. We've drilled this. We know, hey, we go down a man. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to play. So that was impressive. The handball, I'll give my 2 cents, and then I'll let you cook on the Marseille game before we branch off to other things. Cry more. Like, I saw people trying to say like it's not a handball. First of all, like I'm not here. Once again, I feel like I say this every so often on the podcast. I'm not the rules determiner. Like, you know, FIFA, UEFA, all these different boards have their own interpretations, and you can see handballs be called in the Prem or La Liga that aren't called in other competitions. It's all a matter of interpretations and what you deem to be an unnatural position, how far away the arm is from the body, what constitutes this. Like there was a famous handball in the Euros that Cucurella's arm was out and Germany appealed 100%. For a penalty and it didn't get called.
Huge.
Right? So like these decisions are very much at the whim of the ref's interpretations and the governing body's interpretation. For everyone saying it was a bracing arm, it wasn't. His right arm was braced down and his left arm was spread wide. My friend Peter was trying to be like, well, that's just naturally how you slide. And he sent me all these pictures of people sliding outside of the box. I'm like, yeah, when you're inside of the box, you shouldn't do that. And if everyone wants to sit here and say that's a natural motion, sure. In every sport, though, there are natural motions that in certain situations you have to curtail because it will be judged a foul. This is a natural thing to do with the ball. If I elbow someone playing basketball when I'm moving my hands through, that's still a foul just because it's a natural
Kevin Durant rule.
Exactly.
They changed it because of Kevin Durant. Yeah.
So like that's a natural motion. It can still be judged a foul. His arm was away from his body and it hit it. If you want to say that that's not a penalty, that's fine. But they judged it on a penalty that day. There was a penalty in the Juventus Dortmund game, which was a crazy game that ended 4-4. The player is on the ground and trying to get up, and the ball hits him in the hand, and it's also called a penalty. That's a natural thing to just try to get up. And he even tries to move his hands. He noticed the ball's coming. He tries to hit him in the hands. I don't see everybody getting mad about that. So, and I said that much to my friend, and then he's like, I'll explain to you what the difference is. Send me a 3-minute voice note, and I just sent him back the meme like, I'm happy for you, or I'm so sorry that happened, but I ain't gonna read all that. And I didn't even listen to it. And he got. I could tell he got a bit pressed. I was like, I'm just trying to enjoy football. I'm not gonna fucking watch. I'm not gonna listen to that shit because I can be an asshole. And I'm also just so tired of the narrative that like these decisions always benefit Madrid, as if there's not countless other games where these decisions have been made. And then he was showing me a clip of a Copa del Rey game where there was a similar penalty that wasn't called. I'm like, yeah, that's Copa del Rey. It's La Liga. They have different rules. And also that was his bracing arm when that, like the picture you're showing me is different. So I just hate that everyone has to get on Twitter and act like they know what a handball is and what it isn't when we don't, because every year they change the things that make it happen. Let's not forget the Liverpool Spurs Champions League where there was a handball called because the ball got drilled and it hit him like here. And it's not like he was trying to, and it's not like, I don't even think it was an unnatural. He just had his arms out because he was running or whatever.
Yeah.
Handball, penalty, Liverpool win that 1-0. It happens all the time. And if you say, well, that's not a reason for them to keep getting it wrong, sure. But as long as they're going to keep getting it wrong, I'm certainly not going to sit here and listen to you cry just because it benefits my team. Like, I'm not sitting here crying when it doesn't. Like, you know, at most I'll be like, yeah, I thought that was a pen. Cool, but like we can play the I thought it was a pen game all day. Like that's literally to me it's pointless, but that's how I see it. It's a good win. Was happy with the changing shape, but ultimately hard to take a lot out of a game we went down to 10 men.
Yeah. I guess I'll start out with the handball discussion. It seems like every time a call goes, a controversial call like that could go either way, goes for Real Madrid's way, everybody just loses their mind. It's like some guy on CBS was like, this is an absolute robbery. And the fact is, brother, like, first of all, it's like there's like 40 knockout games or first round games that's going to be played. Like, where's the robbery? Like, let's relax. Again, to echo Ruben's points, neither one of us are here to explain what a handball is, what an offside is. UEFA has their rules, the Premier League has their rules, La Liga has their rules. Read them. It is what it is. Do I agree with all of them? Does Ruben agree with all of them? 100% that we don't. No. Listen, at the end of the day, handball is a very convoluted rule right now. We're not sure what an unnatural motion is. We're not sure what a natural motion is. We're not sure what the bracing arm is. This is something that, UEFA and all these leagues and all the refereeing organizations need to come together and need to do a better job, realistically, of defining these rules. Like, for example, is a toe offside really giving the player an advantage? I refuse to believe it is. I refuse to. I'm sorry. A toe is not giving him an advantage. But they call it offside. Okay, whatever. It is what it is. There was I was seeing images in that day of a call against Tchouaméni, who was falling down or something in the box, and it hits him. And again, that's his bracing arm. So let me get this straight. Tchouaméni cannot put his hand down there to avoid falling on his collarbone and shoulder on his head and getting concussed or breaking a bone. But it's his bracing arm, and he's leaving it out there. And the ball hits his hand, and we know that if it's an unnatural motion or not, whether it hits your hand in the box, it's a penalty. The penalty was called. To Ruben's point with his friend, listen, whether it was I really don't care whether it was the bracing hand or whether the hand was sliding out, whatever. The hand was out. The hand was out. That's it. The point is that if the hand is out in the box, we have reached a point in world football that a penalty will likely be called more than not.
100%.
I just pulled up the Liverpool Tottenham game. Moussa Sissoko, yeah, I think that was Moussa Sissoko is pointing at someone to cover him or something like that. Yep. And the ball hits him. This is a natural motion of pointing. How else do you point?
He's communicating with a teammate. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, and they called it. So I'm just gonna leave it there. Do we like these tic-tac calls? No, none of us like these tic-tac calls. But is this the letter of the law that if your hand is wherever out in the box and it's deemed unnatural, whatever the rule that is, that's how it's going to be called? Do I think it's stupid that defenders basically have to defend like this, hands behind their back? Yeah, that's stupid. I think there needs to be a discussion made. But this whole kerfuffle and people losing their minds because Real Madrid got a call in a game that was close. I get it. And yeah, maybe Marseille would have gotten a draw. I understand that. But let's not pretend that, first of all, Real Madrid is the only team that gets these calls. Barcelona gets it, Chelsea, Man City, United, etc., etc. All the big teams get it. This is not some whole conspiracy that Real Madrid is running. And again, we've had calls like that called against us. So that's all. I'm going to leave it there. To the game itself, it was not a very impressive performance from Real Madrid, but again, we got the job done, so results matter at the end of the day, and that's it. I agree with all your points that we haven't seen the convincing Xabi Alonso win. We had to adjust because Carvajal was stupid. If you're ever gonna channel your inner Zidane, don't be the headbutt. Channel the Champions League goal. Yeah, no kidding. Just had to be a little cheeky there. It's stupid. Just come on, man. He's the club captain. You got to know better than that. Rulli is obviously milking it. I get it, but come on, you got to know better than that. Especially with Trent, you coming on for him as a captain, you got to be aware that, hey, this guy could be out for a while. Do I want to put my team in jeopardy in the Champions League? That's so important to us. All that in mind. Poor performance overall. Realistically, I'm going to be harsh. Arda Güler had some good moments, but overall, I think he wasn't that good. And he got caught sleeping, and that goes back to what I was saying: is that let's chill with the hype. With Arda Güler and with players like Lamine Yamal and all these young players. He's young. He's going to make mistakes. Listen, I'm not killing him. I don't think we should. But he made a mistake. He got caught ball watching. I think also Huijsen, probably there was a miscommunication there as well. Militao had a tough game just overall, Rashford and Weah and Aubameyang. Sorry, not Rashford, Greenwood. What am I thinking of Rashford? The Man United connection. Yeah, they kind of just caught us a lot on the counterattack. And overall, it wasn't the best day, but it's the whole quote all the time: a sign of champions is to win when you're not playing well. Kylian Mbappe scored 2 penalties, the decisive ones. Credit to him. You finish penalties become to be easy, but a lot of times they don't get scored. Messi missed a lot of penalties in the Champions League, so we got the job done there. I'd probably like to go over to the overarching argument of how you felt about the whole Vinny agenda. He didn't start. Rodrigo started. He was good. Again, not great. I felt like Vinny, I don't know if he was necessarily that much better, but he looked maybe a little bit more clinical. The team looked a little bit more potent when he was on. Again, it's tough to draw like a lot of positive conclusions from a game like that, especially when you're down. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably put up our chat just about the whole Real Madrid thing and when I edit this. But what the conclusion I drew from this game and overall of the games is that Xabi Alonso seems to have found his guys, and that's what I was talking to Ruben about in our chat on Instagram about the whole Real Madrid situation. Is that I view that it's not necessarily an agenda as hard as Ruben was saying. I'm not opposing his points. I'm not saying there couldn't be something going on. I want to make that clear that there definitely could be. I understand where he's coming from. I'm not saying that he's just making stuff up, but I just think that because I've listened to other Madrid podcasts as well, and that Alonso's basically found his guys in his positions. And realistically, Vinny hasn't played well enough to be a nailed-on starter or to not be subbed off. That's kind of how I feel about it right now, especially with Rodrigo saying that I want to play on the left, and he's made that decision. So it seems like it's like Rodrigo and Vinny on the left, Mbappe down the middle, Bellingham and Goulier in the 10 role, Mastantuono and Brahim on the right. We know the midfield, we know the defense. But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts, overall, based off of like what I've been seeing so far.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you reminded me about the Arda Güler thing, because I think the way that he's dealing with Arda kind of leads me to believe that my thing is more right than not. I'm like, and I don't, when I say agenda, I want to be very clear that I don't think that like Xabi Alonso hates Vinicius Jr. I don't think that Xabi Alonso thinks Vinicius Jr. is a bad player. I don't even pretend to believe that Xabi Alonso is trying to push this player out of his club. Like, I don't think that. I would have to see a lot more to get to that point. But what I do think is that, helped by the fact that the fans were upset with how the back half of last year was and Vinicius's drop in form post the Ballon d'Or, helped by the fact that last year was so bad that everyone wants like massive sweeping changes and there's this magnifying glass, and helped by the fact that Vinicius is a controversial character in general because of what he said about Spanish football and blah, blah, blah. It is very easy to marginalize a player like that. And I look at Arda Güler, and I know he's young, and I think that there should be given grace. Like, I'm not here to slate the kid either. But he was at fault for that goal. And, Alonso in the post game didn't hammer him. He's just like, that's why I said in the Club World Cup, we have to invest in these players. It's an investment, blah, blah. And he's right. You have to invest in these players. What I noticed, though, is that when Arda Güler is fiery and he's yelling at Jude to make a run, or because he doesn't get a ball, or when he's mad that he gets subbed off, no one is coming at him. No one is making this out to be a bigger thing than what it is. We're like, oh, this is a young kid who wants to play. Vinicius Jr. is doing the same thing. And then Vinicius Jr. is a player who, again, no disrespect to Arda Güler, maybe he will get to these places. But I also remember that Martin Odegaard was supposed to get to certain places. Yeah. And now Martin Odegaard might not even be, I mean, we'll talk about it in the Prem chat, but hot take, Martin Odegaard might not even be in Arsenal's best 11. Like,
ooh, spicy take.
So I think that there's a bias to European players from European coaches. Carlo was kind of an outlier because he's been around so many different places. Like, I understand rotation, whatever, keep everybody fresh, but that's not really what we're seeing, because again, Mbappe has started every game. And Tchouaméni starting every game bothers me less because there is quite literally no one else that can play that position right now that's healthy. Mm-hmm. Now that Camavinga and Jude are back, theoretically, you could use either one of them in that position. I don't think Xabi will use Jude in that position because that would be crazy. Jude is much better attacking and crashing into the box, but Jude can play anywhere in the midfield, so he could play that position. Like, let's not get it twisted. He could. He shouldn't. He could. Whereas Camavinga could offer a different profile in that position, still being a shield and, seeing if we can unlock some of his creativity. He hasn't shown himself to be quite as good of a passer as Tchouaméni has been, but he does carry the ball well. And maybe if he unlocks some of those passes, that would be good. And then, obviously Mbappe hasn't rotated. And again, I know that it's early. Mbappe is clearly not too tired, but man, like we have Gonzalo Garcia, like, and he got his first minutes like this past weekend. We didn't get to see any of them at any time before then, and Endrick just came back healthy, but even Endrick hasn't gotten like he didn't even put in Endrick for a cameo just to be like, hey, run around and get your legs. So like, is it rotation? And I agree with you that he has his guys, but my problem is whenever someone has their guys, especially this quickly, like Alonso, we talked about it in the Club World Cup, and we talked about it off the back of the Club World Cup at the beginning of this year. He hasn't really had that much time to work with these guys. Like he hasn't.
Yeah.
So if you already have your guys, to me, that's troubling because what I'm seeing is I don't think Arda should be a nailed on starter. And if you're going game by game, like Franco looks like he's improving and Franco can play on the right. And then we can still have three in the middle in Jude, Valverde, and Tchouaméni, which is much more balanced defensively for me than having Arda there. So why is Arda given all these chances and Vinicius isn't? And if people want to say, well, his level doesn't reach, yeah, man, he's a player that needs time. He's a player that needs to get back into his rhythm. I don't think you get that rhythm by being pulled. Like if anyone's played sports, my least favorite thing would be when I'm starting to feel good, I'm starting to get a run in, my legs are really going. All right, you're off. Okay, then I'm not going to get the best of this. Like some players need to grow into a game. Some players need to grow into their good parts. So yeah, I just find it strange that Vinny hasn't played a full 90 minutes in any game. Like that, to me, that's not rotation. You're making a point. Like I think he's saying this is open for competition. And if people want to applaud that, yeah, I think that's a good thing in theory. But I think it's also telling that Rodrigo doesn't want to try to crack in on the right. Why do you think he doesn't want to crack in on the right? Because I'm sure Xavi's already told him, no, I like Franco's profile more than yours on the right. I like Brahim's profile more than yours on the right. And I even like Arda's profile more than yours on the right. Because I bet Rodrigo would still play on the right if Ancelotti was here and told him, like, hey, I want you to start. This is the best place for you. Though, why do you think he wants to compete for the left? Because he knows that Vinicius is not 100% nailed on, and he knows that's the only place he's going to get a fair shake to get a fair look. That's what I think. Because or else it doesn't make sense. Rodrigo's played the right complaint free the whole time. Now all of a sudden he's comfortable and he only wants to play on the left. No, he knows that his move might be coming sooner rather than later. He wants to put his best foot forward, and he also knows the only way he's going to get a good move is if he shows if he gets playing time. So why would you try to attack the players that clearly this guy likes as opposed to the ones that he doesn't like? Yeah, so that's my thoughts on the Vinny thing. Like I don't think it's this like nefarious thing, but it's clear that like he's not rating him. And even when, again, the game that just passed against Levante, was it Levante that they played? I forget who it was.
We'll pull it up right now.
Espanyol. It was Espanyol. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Espanyol. Okay. Yeah. I think Levante is tomorrow. Espanyol. Vinicius set up Mbappe on a pretty amazing chance. He cut. It was going down the byline, gave it to him. Obviously, the ball was bouncing a bit because it had to go across like quite a distance and a few players. I think it nicked somebody. But if we had a real number 9, a true goal scorer number 9, if Haaland's on the end of that gets put in the back of the net. Mbappe skies it. If that goes in the back of the net, Vinicius gets an assist in a match that at that point was still 1-0, I think, and helps kill the game off. As it stands, Vinicius still got 1 assist, but that would have been a 2-assist night, and it changes the way we think about that game. Oh, Vinicius with 2 assists, he created this clear chance for Mbappe. I think that he's the victim of when he had a number 9 in a focal point, he could feed that person and get assists even when the goal scoring wasn't going right. And now he doesn't have a true number 9, and Mbappe's areas are not the same as Benzema's. Like the goal that Vinny assisted to Mbappe, he was drawing attention and Mbappe found space, but it was a fucking rocket from outside of the box. Like that was all Mbappe, very little Vinicius. Vinicius helped in just attracting attention so that they couldn't just double up on Mbappe. Obviously, it's a talented team. You can't leave anybody alone. But Mbappe just like scored like a worldie of a goal. So I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. I don't think everyone's being treated fairly. And look, like I'm not trying to get into this whole player FC thing. I'm a Real Madrid fan. I'll be a Real Madrid fan if Vinicius leaves or stays, if Rodrigo leaves or stays. Doesn't mean I won't be sad. Doesn't mean if I ever play EAFC career mode, I won't sign him back just to remember how it used to be. Like, honestly, there are some players I just love. I loved Kaká. I was really sad that Kaká didn't work out the way that I thought he was going to work.
Same.
Because I loved Kaká. He was one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
So just because I love this club doesn't mean I won't have players that I love equally, even when they leave. And if Vinny leaves, not including if he goes to a direct rival or someone that we hate, like if he goes to Man City or Barcelona, I'm going to cheer for him to do well unless we're playing him. But if he's at Bayern Munich, if he's at PSG somehow, if he goes to Arsenal, to Manchester United, to Chelsea, to even Liverpool, I want him to tear the world up. I want him to get every goal that he can. I want him to win every Ballon d'Or. He's my favorite player in the world right now. Him and Absolutely. Jude and Valverde are basically competing for who I love more, which is a tough competition because they're all very, very awesome. But yeah, that's just how I feel about it. I don't think it's like this. I say the agenda because it's fun, but I don't genuinely think it's like Alonso trying to be like, yeah, fuck this guy. We're gonna get him out of here as quickly as we can. No, I just think like, yeah, it's clear that he's made. To me, it's like instead of starting from zero, Vinicius is starting like prove yourself, and I'm like, well, and maybe this is for the next part of the conversation, but that's how I feel about it. You can give your thing.
Yeah. Again, it's not that I did disagree wholeheartedly with you, and realistically, if I did, like that's what we have a podcast for, right?
That's the whole point. It's the whole point.
Yeah, we want to talk. We want to challenge each other. Like I understand the points that you make, and I agree with most of them. Like if I can give an example, I was talking to one of my friends about it. Who he's not like a Real Madrid fan, but he was always a Ronaldo fan, and he likes to watch like good teams in general. And he's like, "Hey, what's going on with Real Madrid?" And I explained the whole situation to him, and he's like, to me, he's like, what's going on is that number one, he's like, you have a coach in a really long time who actually rotates players. He's like, I didn't see Ancelotti rotate players like at all. And that is like an adjustment for Madrid fans. Obviously, your points are correct. Certain players are not being rotated. Like Valverde is always starting. Tchouaméni is always starting. Mbappe is always starting. So there's that. And then his other point was that like, realistically, he's like, I think, and I agree with him as well. I have the same sentiment is that the Mbappe move has bothered Vinny. And also probably the Ballon d'Or hangover as well. Maybe that's still lingering there or whatever it's going on. And it's affected his performances on the pitch. So I said this to Ruben as well, and I will keep saying this. Mbappe takes a lot of the blame for this whole situation. Real Madrid shouldn't have signed Mbappe, in my opinion. Yes, Mbappe is playing like the best player in the world, but again, we had a cohesive system, and we kind of tried to shoehorn a best player in there that we didn't need. A lot of times when teams go for the best player available, it's not exactly the best player for that team. You see a lot of parallels in like, the NBA, for example, like the Brooklyn Nets tried to shoehorn like 3 ball dominant players with Kyrie, James Harden, and Kevin Durant. Look what that happened. All of them left in like a matter of a year.
True.
So Mbappe takes a lot of blame for this as well because he needs to realize that he has an amazing player on his left wing who on his day is arguably the best player in the world, and he needs to adjust and play like an actual striker. But my only point as well is that yes, absolutely, Xabi Alonso needs to give fair competition and fighting for spots to all the players. And he takes responsibility to get the best out of these players as Ancelotti couldn't last year. But also like he's not performing on the pitch. It is also Vinny, Rodrigo, whoever's responsibility who starts in the left position to play to the best of the ability to garner like not being substituted or garner being the first name on the team sheet
to hold their place, not just be given their place. Yes.
So that's just my problem with Vinny. It's that, bro, like I just like Ruben said, bro, I loved Kaká. I was very upset when it didn't work as well. Like I was like, this guy was one of the most magical players that I saw. With Vinny as well, he's been one of the most exciting and scintillating players that I've seen in recent time for Real Madrid, and I want him to hit those heights. And realistically, I actually believe he will hit those heights again. But my criticism to him would be like, I would say that, bro, I get it, you're mad, I get it, you're frustrated, but like I expect more from you, and I believe that you can do better. And like you use this as like fuel to the fire, like I said in the previous episodes with like Rodrigo as well. It's like, bro, play to a level that you cannot be substituted. Play to a level that you have to be started. Aside from that, my only other question would be that if they do want to move him out, what my friend was saying as well is that who are they going to go for and play there?
Oh, like Mbappe would play on the left, and they would just play number 9. That's the only.
So,
that's
that's the thing. It's like is for example, I don't know, is Holland really available? Is City just going to sell him? Like who's the next guy?
It's hard to say because there could be some young kid who this season kind of breaks in the way that Yamal did. Obviously, you wouldn't like. Names like Šeško, Gyökeres, Isak, they've all just recently signed to new clubs that they pushed their way into or like wanted to go to. So none of them are available. Erling Haaland, who knows? I mean, if the Pep Guardiola thing blows up kind of the way that it might, or like if he really does leave, maybe Haaland wants a new competition or like new horizons. It would be weird for him to play on the same team as Mbappe. So who knows if that's something that would affect his decision making. But you can never not say that Madrid would be linked. Someone like Gonzalo Ramos, if he runs down his deal, I don't think PSG would sell him to us because of like the contentious nature of everything. But Gonzalo Ramos is a player that scored like a hat trick in the World Cup and is a good player. I think if he played more, he would do more. Like, I don't think he's bad. Just the way that Luis Enrique plays doesn't really need a number 9 in the style that he is. But maybe Xabi Alonso could make more use out of him. Genuinely, and like this is going to be crazy, but maybe having Mastan Tuono has softened my heart to more Argentinians. Julian Alvarez, who grew up Real Madrid fan, played in the academy I think when he was really young before moving on. I liked him. I thought he was a player that we could have targeted before he went to Atletico if we didn't get Kylian Mbappe. He's hardworking. He presses. I think he could do a lot of what Xabi Alonso would demand from a number 9. Those are names, but none of those names inspire the same. Like, again, you would basically be trading Vinny for them. But again, this is in the likely event that we're not going to see like a number 9 just take the world by storm either this year or at the World Cup. Because if there's like a number 9 that's playing for, I don't fucking know, pick a lesser heralded European country or an African country. Like if someone breaks through for Cameroon and scores like in every game that they play, I guarantee you Florentino Perez wouldn't mind making him a Galactico. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's always a chance. And let's not forget, like Gonzalo Garcia and Endrick both still play for Real Madrid, and presumably Xabi Alonso can try to make something out of both of them or one of them. Right.
Yeah. Those are all valid points. You mentioned as well. To me, it's just that the drop off would be so insane, right? Like anytime we've sold, like for example, when we sold Di Maria, when we sold Ozil as well, it was to bring in a player of that ilk or higher. To sell like Vinny and to bring up any of those names, it would be
it wouldn't feel
a weird decision.
It wouldn't feel
it wouldn't feel exactly. But anyway, I think we should probably move on. I mean, we'll see how the season goes. I think we're both very hopeful. It's still early, like I said. Like we haven't had a preseason. The squad's still trying to figure the system out. Everything's going on, and they won their first game in the Champions League, and that's all that's important for Real Madrid. Was there a specific result you wanted to focus on? I mean, there was the 4-4 game, Juventus Dortmund, Bayern beat Chelsea, Liverpool beat Atletico, even though it was close. Anywhere specific you'd like to go?
Honestly, quick hits. Like, I thought that the Juventus Dortmund game was crazy. Both those teams look like they're going to be fun value in this year's competition. I don't know if Juventus... Okay, I do know that Juventus is not at their best, but, they look fun. That's worth something. Arsenal versus Athletic Club. It was crazy that it took them that long to break them down, but Athletic Club did play like a lot of haram ball, to quote football Twitter.
Jesus
Martinelli had a pretty great goal. And, we... followers of this pod will know I was saying that they should have ditched him to get Rodrigo. And while I still believe that take on a macro level, it's not, you can't be unfair to Martinelli and not give him credit. He's fighting for a spot. He scored in this game and he scored in one of their Premier League matches following that. So like either before or after that. Inter was pretty comfortable in their win. They look like they're going to be one of the favorites. PSG super comfortable in their win. They still look like one of the favorites. Kavica Kvaratskhelia talking about, again, he wanted to go to Madrid. He loved Madrid. He's a big Real Madrid fan. We didn't get him, and we got Vinny, which is great. But again, if we had a real number 9, or if Mbappe could play number 9, he's a name that, like, while I would miss Vinny, I actually really rate Kvaratskhelia, and I think that he could be good. Not that I want to swap him for Vinny. I think Vinny can be better on this day, but Kvaratskhelia is good. Chelsea, this is a preview for our Prem thing. I will say I don't feel good about my prediction of them being the third place team anymore. They've had a pretty tough week, and I think it speaks to their inconsistency. The fact that Sanchez apparently cannot play goalie, despite being a goalie.
Yeah, oh my God.
And yeah, Bayern Munich, I don't think look like a team that can win this competition, but they have so much talent that it almost doesn't matter. Harry Kane can still score and whatever. But both teams looked really shaky in a way that I'm just like, oh, when you play better teams, this isn't going to be good for you, I don't think. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you felt that watching that or like in the aftermath of that. Liverpool versus Atletico Madrid. Again, that gave credence to your whole thing about Liverpool's defense being pretty shambolic, because like
this is my agenda against Liverpool.
Yeah, like Atletico have been a terrible fucking team, and they almost got a draw there. And like, look, Simeone is a clown, and his behavior is reprehensible, which is hilarious because he was one of the many voices that were telling everyone that would listen that Vinicius was dancing, or Courtois yelling at the fans that were throwing stuff at him and defacing his mural before the game were provocative and whatever. This guy's showing his nuts and all this stuff. I'm like, oh my God. But it's okay when he does it. He got sent off for his troubles. With
a fan.
Yeah, with a fan. A fan who was banned from watching football because he mocked a disabled woman during a charity game. That's a fun little news story if you want to read about. Yeah, that's the level we're getting here.
Jesus.
Yeah, but Liverpool's defense looked fragile. I'm still waiting to see how Van Dijk's aura is going to save it, but it still hasn't. They pulled off a late winner. The like 2 episodes ago from this one, I titled it, "They can't keep getting away with it." Well, it seems like Liverpool keeps getting away with it. They just keep finding a way to win, and that's what good teams do. So I can't hate them too much. The last one I'll give an opinion on before you can give your little roundup. Barcelona versus Newcastle. I think that result is very harsh on Newcastle. Yeah, because they were, in my view, in control for a lot of the game. They were playing really physical, really fast. And you saw the problems that appear in Barcelona's midfield when that happens. They're not very strong. They're not very fast. They're not very physically demanding. And this isn't Pep Guardiola's Barcelona with Iniesta and Xavi and Busquets. Like, they don't know how to soak up that pressure and really play through it in the same way. Eventually, Newcastle got a bit tired. If you're a believer in the Rashford resurgence, all power to you. He scored 2 pretty great goals. I don't buy it. I'm not convinced by it. Call me a hater. I think Rashford is a talented player, but I don't know. I guess I don't think this is going to turn into what I think people think it'll turn into, which is like he plays good enough to get called up for England, or he becomes a regular player in the starting 11. I just don't see it, but that's just maybe my hater talk. I don't know, but that's how I feel. Yeah. I don't feel more like, I feel pretty confident that this Barcelona team is decidedly worse than what it was last year, based on everything I've seen. And part of that is Jamal being out, obviously, but I don't think I didn't think they were that good last year. I think people have found them out a bit more this year, and I think that's going to catch up to them.
Yeah, I'll just touch on those games you mentioned as well, because obviously they were the biggest ones. The Juve Dortmund game, if you didn't watch it, at least go watch the highlights. That was crazy. Like, I put that on just to see what the hell was going on. Juve, they obviously, I think both of us, we like to see big teams do well. We know the Serie A teams have fallen off for a while. Juve's also been one that's going through a transition. They have Canadian Jonathan David. He was pretty good in the game. I don't think it was his best performance that I've seen. One player that really stood out, Kenan Yildiz, Turkish guy. People were saying that Real Madrid got the wrong Turkish dude. I don't know about that, maybe, but Kenan Yildiz looked great, absolutely great overall. He started like blistering for Juve. On the Dortmund side, the only thing I'll say is that there is something going on with Dortmund about this inability to hold on to leads. Like they concede late a lot, and like just bottling it on the last day of the league. Was it last year or 2 seasons ago? Just not being able to hold leads like late. I don't know what the problem is. They got to figure something out. Whether it's mentality, whether it's youth, whether it's just coaching. Something needs to be fixed there. On the Bayern and Chelsea game, Chelsea looked poor. I've said it before. It's Robert Sanchez, right? Robert Sanchez. I think he's like not a good goalkeeper. I don't know why Chelsea like bought him or started for him or start him. Out of all the positions that they've spent money on, I really think they should have got another goalkeeper. I saw Chelsea as very shaky. I didn't actually see that from Bayern. I thought they looked very good, specifically Olise. The balls he was playing into Kane. He went from a player who wasn't fitting in like well last season to now, like, you know, we knew he was Kompany's guy and like he's doing well. We'll see how Bayern does. Obviously, the Upamecano Kim Min-jae partnership at the back has had problems for a while. Luis Diaz, I think looked great as well in that game. I think Liverpool probably regret letting him go. I don't know if that was honestly the right move for them. PSG comfortable. They're definitely going to be another title contender as well. I'm going to keep banging the drum about Liverpool until they prove me wrong. It keeps happening in the Premier League. We'll talk about it in the next episode. They're scoring late winners. How long can you do that? How long can you just win 2-1, 3-2, and then that? You got to retain clean sheets. You got to be better defensively. Milos Kerkez, a player that I liked a lot. I've signed him in playing FC as a really good left back. He was subbed off after 6 minutes. He looked really, really poor. Not sure what's going on there. And the Simeone, it's like, bro, like just, I don't know. At this point, it's like, what do we even say about Simeone? It's like, there's so much to say about him. I'll just say it's like, bro, class is not something that I would associate with him all or most of the time. I think I'll leave it there. And Atletico struggling in the league, in the Champions League for the first match as well. I spoke about it. I said, at what point do they just say, yo, thanks, dude, appreciate the Champions League finals and losing to Real Madrid twice. Sorry, I had to put that in there. We appreciate the league wins, but like I think we need someone who's not a dick and actually knows how to play offensively. We'll see. And to Newcastle and Barcelona, I am not understanding the whole media like rhetoric and like Hansi Flick, like ESPN FC that they're quoting. Flick praises fantastic Rashford. It's like, okay, let's relax.
Fantastic Rashford. That's what they're going with.
This is a choice of words. Like, I know he scored 2 goals, but okay. I don't think he was absolutely blistering on the day. And this is not just coming from a person who doesn't like Barcelona. Like, overall, I don't think his performance was that great. Like,
and to be fair, you went into this move saying that this could be really good. Like, you were hoping that he would be good.
100%.
You were very positive about the move at him. Like, to be like fair to you, I've been negative on it the whole way. So if he does well, it's more a black mark on me.
I didn't like people.
You gave the space for him to be good, basically.
Yeah. And to say it, like, people are like, oh, he scored 2 goals. Like, what are you talking about? Like, there have been games that Ronaldo scored 4 goals, not a hat trick, scored 4 goals, and it was a bad game. Like, I vividly remember, like, the commentator, he finished with a hat trick, and the commentator was like, yeah, like, he could finish that. He finished the day with a hat trick, but he knows he didn't have a great game. Like, it just wasn't the best performance overall from a player that, I think, hopefully he does well just for his career's sake. I didn't like the whole, he didn't deserve a move to Barcelona, but Martin Braithwaite did, or Adama Traore did.
Oh, Adama Traore.
I'm not going to disagree. I don't disagree with your point that it was harsh for Newcastle, a team that's gotten a lot of harsh results. Obviously, they're not playing that card, and I don't think it's fair to often play this that we're getting harsh losses and we're getting unlucky. They played really well. Their midfield is really great. I really, really rate Sandro Tonali, Bruno Guimaraes as well. And it exposed Barcelona when they're overrun by a group of midfielders who can run, are physical, have huge energy. I don't disagree to Ruben's points that the Barcelona doesn't look like a better team than last year, and their defense looks shaky again. Realistically, if Newcastle was a little clinical more in front of goal, they probably could have just won the game or at least gotten a draw.
If Isak's there. No.
Oh,
I'm sorry, man.
Dug the knife in.
I know. I'm digging it to myself too. I was in many podcasts saying I don't think he's going to leave anymore. It's too late. They need too much money. Yeah. Well, it shows what I know. I'm just talking. I mean, I also said that I was more scared of Atletico Madrid winning the league than Barcelona. Now I'm not scared of either one of them winning. Like, I'm just, if Real Madrid doesn't win this league, it's because they gave it away. It's not because anyone else won it.
Yeah, the way it's going now, at least 100%. Yeah,
but yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to touch on before we move over to the second episode?
No, I think we hit everything in the Champions League. Obviously, we did a little more Madrid stuff. We didn't get into like everything, but I think the Vinicius news is the big news. I will say, like, I am still waiting, and I guess like we all are, because Xabi Alonso is such the kind of coach that I think people think that Pep Guardiola is, and some of these other, like Jurgen Klopp, like he's a very tactical coach. He's kind of been tapped to be the next guy, right? Like I think, I doubt he'll spend his whole career at Real Madrid because coaches like that coaches in general don't really spend their whole careers at one spot anymore. But Real Madrid is a pressure cooker, and to be honest, they can be pretty fickle.
He probably goes to Liverpool.
But yeah,
just because of his connection.
He'd probably go to Liverpool. I mean, he could even go to Bayern, really, like if company's not there. But I am interested to see what his career will bring, what it could be. But it's a change, We have a tactical manager who has his ideas, and we're no longer Friendship FC. We're not just a platform for superstars. And I think that transition's been hard, not just on the players, but as us as fans. It was fun. We had so many moments of individual brilliance that I do wonder how it's going to work long term. And I'm not trying to cast dispersions. Like, I think he's going to be a great coach. I'll say that again and again, whether it comes off perfectly here or it comes off perfectly somewhere else. Real Madrid have tended to do better with superstar manager coaches as opposed to like tactics guys.
Yeah, that's true.
But it doesn't mean that it's impossible. And Xabi Alonso kind of seems to be walking the line of being both. And as long as he keeps winning, there's no problem. But I do think the fact that we haven't seen a signature win in the sense of like we haven't seen a player really grab the game by the neck and like we win 3 or 4-0. Mbappe's been the closest, and he's been most of our offense, which is scary in case he does go down with injury or he stops firing at the clip that he is at. But we also haven't seen the Xavi ball wins that Leverkusen had. Now, obviously, this is a better league than the Bundesliga. No disrespect to the Bundesliga. But it is telling that I just, obviously these things need time. The same thing that I said earlier, he hasn't had forever to work with these players, applies here as well. So I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater, but I would like to see a signature win before we get to not even the Derby. The Derby is right around the corner, and it's going to be an interesting litmus test for this team and what it will be. But I would like to see a signature win before the Clásico. Because if we don't have one before then, I'll feel a lot more nervous about because it'll let me know the players are not 100% comfortable with the system. And I think Barcelona could have a field day if we're not comfortable with what we're doing. So hopefully we get to that comfort level by then. I don't think there's an international break before then or anything that should break up the time on the pitch. But yeah, that's the only thing I'm worried about. Who knows? The signature win could be against Atletico Madrid. The way Atletico Madrid is playing, if we carve them open 4-0 or whatever, Xavi's got a lot of room to play with then.
Yeah, 100%. I think they played Chelsea or someone after the derby.
They play a pretty good.
No, Juve.
Yeah, yeah. Because Juve's all.
Yeah. Or it could come against a lethal opponent in Kairat Almaty, who's like they're traveling like far. I heard something that they're traveling like far east than they've ever traveled.
It's
before.
Like the longest away day that's ever been happening in European competition. Yes,
yeah,
fucking insane.
Yeah, let's buy a jersey for Kairat Almaty just to support their Champions League run.
Yeah, that's my new team. If Xavi doesn't treat Vinicius well, I'm going to become a Kairat fan.
Yeah. Don't say, you guys just support big teams. Get out of here.
Fucking Kairat forever, baby.
I'm like, who? The guy was like, I'm like, literally, who?
Yeah,
anyway. We hope you enjoyed. Let us know your thoughts on the Champions League and Kairat Almaty, and overall just what you think it's going on in the world of football.
Specifically, let us know about Kairat Almaty. I don't care about anything else. Okay, Kairat Almaty first.
If you are a fan, genuinely, please contact us.
If you've ever played a Football Manager save as the Kairat Almaty coach, we want to hear your story.
Yeah, 100%. I wonder how like the EAFC creators feel when they have to put these in the Champions League. He's like, oh, fuck. He's like, bro, how the fuck do I contact like the Kairat Almaty sporting the tech?
Do these guys have agents? Like who's negotiating the Kairat Almaty rights, the rights deal? Are they doing a scan? Like, do they get flown into EAFC headquarters to do the body scan? Like, what's happening here?
Like, they're sending some EA intern. It's like, listen, we're going to hire you. We just need you to go to this far east place. Do some face scan. Yeah. Anyway, we hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. There's a lot going on in the world of football. And yeah, we're going to head over to the Premier League and talk about why I hate Mikel Arteta. And yeah, lots of other things. We'll see you on the next one.